Okay, so Matt and I here,
You.
and I was just saying to him, played for a couple hours, and I just marked down a bunch of hands with even smaller kind of questions, so I think they're ordered by kind of random.
Did you custom make your own HUD, or is that mine?
This is the ones that you suggested.
Okay.
But I need to add some colors because it's kind of hard to.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't copy paste. The screenshot you posted, I just added those ones in.
Okay.
So I haven't really done. It's hard to kind of get used to what the heck they are.
I think I should have sent you.
You did, but I've tried importing it like 3 or 4 times, and it doesn't work.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
So this one VPIP RFI or hands VPIP RFI. I don't know what that one is.
One soft lock.
Okay. And then these are like the cut off, fold to cut off, fold to.
Those should be the
bottom.
The second line is the RFIs by position.
Okay, yeah. So those are
steel stats, and then bottom. The bottom.
3-bet.
Yeah.
What would this be? Fold to 3-bet or something?
Yeah.
Okay. And then fold to cut off, fold to button, fold to small blind.
The 0.0 there, that's the third one, squeeze, and then the
and then those. Okay. Seals, yeah. All right, so
it's pretty simple.
I was just gonna have the screenshot up.
Yeah, you could do that too.
Couldn't find it, but so
this how long we're using this one for?
I think today was like the first session, yeah, or second maybe. So this guy opens. I think usually I'm 3-betting to 60 here to against a 15 or
to 13.5 BB is like fine.
For the squeeze, I'm saying against just an open, I'm going 60. So then I just kind of add in.
I don't think you need to go like that big. I don't know. I normally what would it be? 14. What's 14 times 5? 70. Yeah. So like I think 65 or 70 is fine. The pot's already bloated. Like the 3x and the call.
Yeah.
If you're in the big blind, fine. Maybe like make it 75.
Okay.
But yeah, I think small blind it's okay.
Okay. Yeah. I wasn't. I don't know. I originally was gonna go 7, and then I
the size is not wrong. Like
yeah. So this guy calls. We get this texture, and I thought, okay, well, pretty fucking dry. Our hand needs some protection, and there seems to be a lot of hands we get value from that are worse. So I chose to bet like, what is that, between quarter and fifth pot?
Yeah, I kind of just stick to third here still. It's like, I don't know, even with like not necessarily a value hand. I don't know. I think it's just like easy enough to still play for a third. And it doesn't it won't change their ranges that much in the 3-way squeeze pot. Whereas it's actually more annoying if they call more ace highs to smaller size. We want those to fold, I guess. But yeah, quarter. I'm basically I wouldn't go less than a quarter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really wasn't sure. I guess I just kind of was like, oh, this card, I guess there's still, these pockets of hands that even though that they just we still get value from them, even if we go the full 1/3.
Yeah, I think
right, 4s through 10s are just not gonna fold.
I think 4s and 5s probably call, 6s, 7s, 8s might fold. The back door with the deuce 3. And then most ace highs are gonna call.
So I guess I just thought that combine basically with the pre-flop, the big size and everything, that the bigger I go, the more I kind of get called by better, and the worse, the more hands that I'm beating quite a lot fold, but that might not be the case.
I think this spot is the difference between betting 60 or 50 or 80
Mhm.
is like not that much.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
their
But you
ranges are
okay?
gonna
So
be
you would
pretty
still
good.
just say go third,
Yeah,
play it that way.
yeah.
So this guy calls. This guy folds, and we get this card, which wasn't exactly. Like I feel like a lot of hands in my range kind of just want to check.
Yeah.
Any ace ace, queen queen, jack jack, some like you know, backdoor spades, backdoor like there's some air, there's some value. Even our I don't know, like I guess I don't know if we'd ever actually check a hand like ace king or king queen.
I have some like king jack, king 10 suited that could check sometimes maybe.
So the strongest one's betting because then we have like some ace four, ace five of hearts, some other couple heart draws to accompany those,
Yeah,
and
sometimes
then
bluffing maybe ace queen with one heart or something.
okay, yeah, unblocking their other ace x backdoor floats and having good removal on the ace king, king queen.
Yeah.
So I just said check, and he checks back.
I like it.
Card. I was so here. I was like, okay, I have sections of air in my range.
Yeah.
I have section of value being, you know, aces, queens, jacks, tens. I still want to value bet probably. And sure, maybe the occasional weak king X. And when his range, I guess we discount any, you know, king X that are like quite often when he just checks turn, right? Like we're not thinking he's checking enough like king 10 or anything, right?
Yeah.
So we'll just kind of ignore that part and say that he has just like, let's say, fours through, you know, tens a bunch here, which I was super.
There's one other main hand that he'll have other than fours through tens. That's
ace queen.
Ace queen.
Yeah. So I guess against all those hands, I think if my air, like wasn't sure, like at first I'm thinking, okay, jam for max value against those hands. That might just be like, hey, well, bunch of air. All right, fuck it, call. But then, I wasn't sure. Like I didn't think that was actually the size to get max value when I do just have this significant like aces through jacks region always.
Mm-hmm.
And the hands that I'm wanting to call, I didn't think would call jam like that often. You know, like fours through tens. You know, obviously tens being the most likely to like call. Although those kind of block my like 10 high bluffs the most, which whatever. I don't know if he's on that, but so for thinking, yeah, but like I guess would my air actually ever want to go right? So is it where our bluff we might actually go bigger, our value will go smaller?
Yeah, I think this spot kind of you'll get a lot of his range to just be folding for like a jam.
And I thought that, okay, it's like tens isn't even always calling jam, but then queens that he has in his range here a bunch always does. It's like already seeming to like even out where I'm like not actually thrilled at all to jam really.
Yeah.
But like if I go smaller, he'll like probably very often call all these other hands. And then if he jams, like I could probably just fold. Right.
Yeah.
So like with whatever king X, maybe a random 3 or some shit. You know, deuces, pocket threes, king X that check back. So I went with like half pot.
Yeah, I think I like it. Maybe like a little bigger, just because we want it to at least look like we're trying to force some folds.
Okay.
So like 180, 200, something like that. But I agree.
Yeah.
Jamming this hand is just going to get all the hands we want to call to fold, most likely. Given like we're probably not perceived to bluff ace high on this texture. So, yeah. But if I did have like a 10 jack of diamonds type hand, cramming it is probably all right. So yeah, I think I agree with this spot kind of going scaling down with value and probably jamming a decent amount of non-ace high bluffs here. Pretty good. Like so much of their range is gonna fold. But yeah, I think I like the size.
Okay.
Maybe
so
like a couple big blinds more.
Yeah, I felt like I went a little bit on the Bishlier size, or just that, or important that like if I go a bit bigger, it some people might perceive that, okay, like I'm actually having more bluffs in that size, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, yeah, we got the call from 8-8.
Yeah, nice.
Which was nice.
Yeah, probably like a 2/3, but your size.
So let's see here. So the pot's already kind of inflated because of this size, so I didn't go full 3x.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Call. Well, I think I was so my checks. I just bet a third.
Yeah.
He folds, but I was just starting to kind of think that this particular hand here felt like a good one. I'm just already starting to think. I'm like maybe triple barreling this, depending on the obviously turn of river, but that it looks like a good candidate to kind of basically blocking his most frequent like suited maybe offsuit but suited ace jack and then like queen jack and like 2 overs.
Yeah, it's nice when the top card ace jack off whatever, but the king jack, queen jack, 10 jack offsuit's not going to be there, which is nice.
for his ISO, yeah.
Yeah.
Or
just for calling the 3-bet.
But also, yeah, like his range already for I guess like the 7. Okay, but you're just offsuit, no offsuit.
Yeah, so that's nice. We
yeah,
block the suited and that combined.
I guess I was already in my mind being like, okay, there's not really gonna be like these offsuits. I'm thinking the suited blockers seem to be the relevant. Why it's like extra relevant here.
Like if the board comes like queen 7/7 and we have ace jack, it's like much different because it's like the ace queen and king queen off.
Yeah. That's true.
Barreling, like our equity improvement cards are like a lot shittier there. Well, it's still okay because he has the pocket pairs that will probably fold.
Mm-hmm.
But even better here when he has that much less top pair. So it's pretty good to probably double barrel like most turn cards here.
Yeah.
Like especially like a rainbow.
And like this, obviously not having any like very many 7x at all. If any, really, considering he tried to ISO limper from small blind, right?
Yeah. Most of his range is going to be deuces through 10s and then his own ace queen and suited aces. So we're looking pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. I guess here I was just curious about what kind of size you choose in this type of spot. Like, seems like when so much of his range is going to kind of have an easy time playing in smaller bets. You want to choose a bigger bet.
Yeah.
And basically pick hands that make sense to go bigger to, either check back to bluff catch or like double barrel or triple for value, being, king jack, I guess. And better.
Yeah.
It seems.
What would you do with your hand?
So, like, kind of probably mostly no matter the size we go, we're likely calling raise. Like, so I think I'm like kind of fine with any size. But I landed on, I think it was 80% pot or so, where we get called by worse, and we have like equity to nuts. And if he does raise to that size, we still probably just call.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I think we shouldn't bet all our ace queens and ace jack kind of hands.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them just have like super easy check and call turn kind of line, which is also fine. They have no pair like showdown value. But the ones with specifically the backdoor hearts
or like ace diamond queen or something.
Yeah, those ones can get bet. I would use a big size here too. I would use like, because we got the 3/4 pop button or something.
Which I think that is pretty much.
Yeah, so it's good. And yeah, the check back call river is like pretty decent. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like for this one even.
Yeah, even after the big size.
Yeah,
so
like, on a heart, except for maybe on heart turn barreling.
Yeah, like we'll see on any like a diamond turn or like interactive turn.
A king at 8, 10.
Yeah. Call riv. I'd still probably barrel this hand a decent amount on like bricks, just because we fold out all their straight draws that can't call. Like say he has like Jack 9 that doesn't check raise and then turns like a 3.
Yeah.
We just like can mash it like slight overbet, and he has to just fold that hand, which is obviously going to be way better.
Yeah, and folding a bunch of other maybe 8x, 10x with bad blockers to my bluffs, and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. And probably actually getting called by Ace Jack a decent amount. Yeah, value.
Call. Yeah, I mean here I just went for a. So he just opens. We call check. Just thought, go for big, basically.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the value could I choose a bunch of strats here, right? 1/3 with a bunch of hands. Kind of like I don't know what hands really make sense to kind of like 2/3, maybe some hands that like are ahead of more of his range, but then need still a decent amount of protection, like some 8x or something. But then obviously, so any like deuce X through like, 6s or something, like betting 1/3, then some of those other ones, and then like some like, Jack 10 plus or something, choosing like a massive size.
Yeah, I like the massive size or check raise only on this particular turn, just because like if I have like 5-4 or pocket 6s or something, I don't like the small bet that much, because on Jack 8-5 he'll check back a lot of like pairs to protect his range, like pocket 9s, 8x, some weak jacks, strong 5, whatever. Like to just like there's less. I'm getting less protection, or I'm getting like it starts getting too dicey because he has better made hands. But it's just like betting pocket 3s for 1/3.
But if we think he's still checking just a bunch of like queen high, king highs, I mean, I guess that's for like any like queen X and king X of like hearts and spades and whatever, like some offsuit shit that just decides not to bet, like that's not enough. And if you're getting called by a bunch of ace highs that don't have pair 2, right? Like if there's all those, I think if you're playing against like a weaker guy, it's fine.
It gets dicey, like because it's very clear you're never betting a strong hand for small on this board.
Yeah,
there's kind of like do it knowing that your range looks like middle pair or worse kind of thing.
Yeah.
I like those protection bets more on boards where it's more clear that they're betting like all pairs on the flop.
Okay.
This one, like they could definitely check back.
So drier boards.
Yeah, boards where now, there is more like king highs, queen highs that.
Or like a board that smoked our range, like a 4, 5, 6, where we now just bet small.
Yeah, exactly, and we could be more balanced there on like when the turn card's an overcard or something. So yeah, I think it's fine to do that. But it's also, I think checking them is like it's going to be really close.
Okay.
I definitely like a really big bet kind of thing. Sure.
So I don't know. I mean, originally I was going to go like 3x, like 75, but then I decided to just scale it down. Yeah. I don't know why. I just like, it feels like I don't need to go at that big to kind of get the same job done,
Yeah, I mean, but it's nice when we have equity to effective nuts. Pretty much nothing improves for him on the turn except for deuce,
or like a random jack deuce suited or 5 deuce suited or some shit.
And then like we still have a lot of river bluff opportunities, even if he does call like 2 or 3x overbet. Like river's like a queen, river's a club, river's a 10. There's still a lot of like good opportunities.
And I think I had that in mind. I was like, okay, like this with intention to actually like on a lot of cards be able to still continue to bluff this hand.
Yeah, exactly. So I like it. I like anything bigger than pot personally.
Sure.
Check raising is also interesting too, because when he does have all that delayed value in his range, like pocket 9s, pocket 10s, weak jack X, like ace 8,
Yeah.
he'll always pretty much bet those on a deuce.
Yeah.
So we could put a lot of fucking pressure on all
To
that
balance
middling.
out our checking.
Yeah,
all
so now
the
if we're
weaker
checking
hands.
like the 5-4s and like our pocket sixes and shit, our range isn't capped to like or at least we're protecting the part of our range that, you know, we're not just never like our checking range isn't only always just 8x and worse kind of
Yeah.
thing. There's some other shit going on in there, some 2 pair, some pocket 5s, some 6-7.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
I kind of like to go for check raise more with something with that can follow through like on a club river, which is pretty much like all the draws, but like an open ender or better, an open ender or flush draw, and then like gutters, put them into just the big bet, just because like just less equity, pretty much.
Okay.
More outs.
Where you're not putting as much money into the pot with less equity.
Yeah.
That makes sense. All right. So it's not, and recognizing that it's like, okay, it's not because it's deuce, so he'll have like, after he doesn't bet flop and a total brick comes, he will actually have a decent betting frequency, not like, okay, he didn't bet brick, so he's not going to be betting much. It's like, okay, there's, you know, 8, 9, 10s, even weak jack X that he checked back, right?
And like people on these boards too, if he has air, like say like the queen 4 of hearts or something, people love going for the delayed c bet.
Yeah,
that's just like, you know, like, oh, he checked twice now.
Yeah,
and they end up over bluffing actually, probably.
So we get some value there.
Yeah, nice. So either one's fine, but just
okay,
knowing both options are good. Probably the higher equity stuff.
Figuring out how to pick which one's going to what.
Yeah. The bigger you're going to be building the pot, just go by raw equity pretty much when his range is like going to be weak-ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so here we just c-bet third and get raised. And that was pretty close. I mean, I thought this hand fit into just a call, but like, basically, it's tough because like on this texture, right? Like so let's say his raising range here, it's not like his raise isn't so small that it's including more like pairs, and especially on the king high board, he's less likely to like protection raise any pairs, right? So it's just like basically repping 8x for value.
Yeah.
And then he's got an assortment of like flush draws and maybe some like, you know, jack 9 of spades type shit going on there.
Yeah.
Couple hands. Which I guess against that range, what types of hands am I looking to call? Like, I think I'd rather call any hand like this compared to like a 10-10 or something. I mean, I guess that hand banking 10 right away equals nuts. But so maybe actually the cutoff could be like ace 10, ace jack, ace queen, because at least those have of spades. So in terms of my spades calls, because at least those have like a straight draw to go with it when some cards come. So I didn't know if this was going to be too wide or not.
I think it's fine. I think it's nice actually that we dominate a bunch of the weaker spades that he'll check raise flop. So I think any ace x
because the 9 through queen x of spades ones.
Like 7-9 of spades, whatever. He's check raising that all day. So it's nice dominating like a portion of his hands that are like always or like very likely to be in his range. So I think any ace x of spades is fine to defend on this board. And then obviously our own flush draws, king x, 8x, and like probably stuff like ace 10 with 1 heart, or better like ace 10, ace jack, ace queen with 1 heart.
Okay.
Probably call those. Just like for the same reasons you want to call ace 10 of spades, we can like call turn barrels more easily. And then maybe like I'm not sure where to cut off like the pocket pairs because they kind of suck. Like our deuces through like queens are all kind of shit. I'd probably just fold
like their equity to improve past his value range is like very low compared to some of these hands.
And like I mean, I think I would just fold like deuces through like for sure like sevens right away because
his overcard equity is
plus
already
the 8x plus flush draws are gonna be shit. At least like something like pocket tens, we have like he has undercards.
Yeah.
You know, like the 9-6 or 9-7 of spades kind of hands, or like ace or heart, like I don't know, 10 or something. We got pocket jacks, like he'll only have one overcard kind of thing. So yeah, I think deuces through sevens I would just fold.
And then calling all king X.
Yeah. Not through betting this board, but yeah, it's pretty good defense, I think.
So we called. Let's check in. And he bets like pretty much full pot. And I thought at this point I have other hands I'd rather call than this. Maybe not though. Like I guess if he has, let's say that 7-9 we talked about, any sort of, I guess 9-10, and then his hearts, I guess what kind of I maybe had in my mind is like some king X being in here for this, like for being in his range to some degree, or to some amount, which like kind of probably made me be like, okay, I'll just fold if that's ever happening. But that might just be not happen. Like like the other reasons are just so much more.
I don't think like any
king queen,
like maybe king queen, but like you say with the flop sizing and just like meta on these boards, it's like you're saying before, it's different than like I don't know, Jack 5-3, where like Ace Jack and King Jack could check raise or whatever.
So if his range is mostly going to be 8x, and then let's say hearts draws, and then because I thought like, okay, on the non-spade turn, some of those flop check raise spades probably just give up, other than like let's say 7-9 or 9-10 specifically, or I guess 10-7 spades as well. So there's like a few combos in there.
Yeah, he sells a decent. What?
So I guess
what before you even equilab anything, there's a pretty clear reason why I like calling the turn. So what's our perceived range? How's he gonna play his
like giving up draws? On river?
Yeah, river's gonna play super crystal clear.
Yeah,
like heart comes, he bets, we fold. He misses. He checks.
Yeah,
we win.
Yeah.
Like so this is the river's not going to be a tricky spot to play at all, and he's going to play his missed equity like very face up. Nobody pretty much like it's so rare for people to actually follow through heart combos in that spot. They're like, oh, I block his flush draws and he has king X, so kind of rightfully so. Not barreling. Even though they should sometimes, but whatever. So I think just because of how straightforwardly the river is going to play and the showdown value we have, I think we're winning the pot enough of the time to defend this hand on.
Yeah, I think just thinking his range is going to have just kind of so much 8x compared to like basically how many flush draws he still has from the check raise on flop that will like barrel turn, right? It's like how many, like the equity of that range, and how often, right? So I'm calling like a 31%.
So you could figure it out manually too, where it's just like the times we call this bet, his heart comes and we lose the hand on river. The times we call this bet, river goes check check and we win, and then the times where he has like a better hand and we call turn fold river. So it's like, is that the addition of all those situations going to be making a little bit of money? I think so.
Yeah, no, it seems reasonable. Like if he just had like, because the amount of like bluffs he has here still, could be like 10 to 30 flush, anywhere from 10 to 30 flush draws. Even if it's 10, we might still be kind of.
Yeah.
But I guess there's like a shitload of 8x in this range, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think.
And like
it was like when I don't get like my spade where now I can improve past his 8, I get kind of like, okay, I have, let's say, I have my own hearts to call here. I have my own like King X, whatever.
Yeah.
I kind of like use those as like, I'll pick those hands, not this one, but it's like, okay, this one is still, which like, I guess, and if here I'm folding still like, all my other backdoor nut flush draws
and
don't pick up a pair.
I think nines, tens, jacks, and queens are like full of those call like this hand. Especially like we're not folding something like
that don't block any bluffs.
Yeah, we're calling something like tens with a heart to the flop check raise. I'd fold that hand to the turn barrel, call this one.
Yeah.
So we have that pocket that now it's stronger hands that fold, but I think this one probably.
Yeah.
For the classic unblocking.
Yeah. Which I didn't.
It's okay. Like I just think it's more the perceived range concept and the river playing straightforwardly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then obviously we'll fold some other hands and call the ones that don't block. Yeah, so that becomes even more important the more like it's just straightforward they play river, where they just like give up everything.
Yeah, I guess I just once he check raised flop barrel's turn, like I guess whatever heart draws he did raise on flop though, and maybe a couple of the 10-7 or 9-7 spade, like will bet again on turn.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like
he has pretty
it's
much
not just
choice.
like sure he has like 58x or something, right? Like he could I don't know how many 8x he really has here, but
like you said, like he's gonna barrel them because like we still fold a lot on the turn.
Yeah,
we still
like
fold a lot of
ace jack,
less than
all
king
these
X.
things. Yeah.
So we still need some hands that aren't a king and aren't a flush draw to call, and it's going to be these couple of. Basically, like there's really not many. It's like 6x of like I mean we probably have our
no
own
heart or some shit. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Ace king probably call like.
Yeah.
Let me see if we have a heart or a spade. All right.
Yeah.
So this one's kind of interesting. So I just bet a third. Which are you just sizing up here? No. Okay. So everybody like pretty much clicks it back. So I decided to call.
Yeah.
And then the heart comes. And then he checks. And you took a page out of your book.
With the I was trying to think if it's neat in this spot when you check. Normally it's just for the straight barreling when they call. To have like there's basically me and Nate looked at these spots like years ago and like say this is even big blind versus button, whatever, cut off versus big blind. Most of players' range when they get to river on like these 3 flush boards is just top pair or a pair plus a heart because some of their suited hands 3-bet, 2 pair and set whatever check raise flop.
Yeah.
Turn 2 pairs not that much stuff. So you want to having some hands that bet turn on the 3 flush to follow through when the 4 flush gets there that isn't a flush is like good in a lot of situations actually, because all his ace-x no heart are clearly gonna fold. A lot of his pair plus heart will probably fold. So like because you look like the nuts are second nuts when you take that line a lot.
Yeah.
People don't put some no suit hand just barreling in your range when you follow through river. So that's where that comes from. This spot's going to be a little different after we does a dinky check raise.
Mm-hmm.
But that's probably what do you think his range is when he does?
I mean, some rando. So let's say mainly first ace X of some sorts.
Yeah.
Rando queen X looking like just maybe dinkily doing that. And other than that, I mean, maybe he's got some like rando ass, rando hands with like a heart or a backdoor club. Maybe some random backdoor club hand.
What type of hand do you think is in his range for dinky check raise flop and then check turn like very often? What specific?
The main one.
Yeah, what specific like there's a couple ace X that I think a dude could play like this very often if he has like whatever shitty check raise.
What's the most? What ace X makes the most sense for doing that? Like,
yeah, like there's two that I'm thinking about, two offsuit ones that I could see taking this kind of exact line.
Well, the ace jack ace 10
with what suits?
Like with one heart.
Yeah, with the jack, like ace, jack heart, ace 10, 10 heart. I think are like extremely likely to be in that sort of range. I think made flushes are probably not, and some of those ones without the heart as well. So that's kind of what I would think his range is at this point.
Yeah.
So when a decent amount of his range has the 10 or jack of hearts in it, I like the trying to go for the bet with no heart a lot less. In the other situation, it's like nice because he has a lot of eight. He'll have, if we're just straight barreling, he'll have a lot of ace X, no suit, or weaker hearts like ace 4 with the 4 hearts that will call turn and fold river a lot of the time. Here, I don't think he actually has hands like that.
Okay.
Much. So
I mean, yeah, I kind of think put just a variety of more hands of like even like king queen with which obviously would go against because then if he has the heart, right? So if he has the jack of hearts or king of hearts in those scenarios, so it's really just hoping for like ace X. Just ace X to call and then fold.
Which I don't see, like BB versus Co, I don't see people taking that line too much, like with like ace 10 or weaker and check raising, even versus small size is really weird. So if I don't think that's happening, what's an alternative? Like what other shit is maybe in his range that we could get to fold taking a different line? That's like that hill, he might have gone for check raise on flop and then check turn.
Some like that we don't have showdown value against.
We probably
some random like small but 9x of like clubs.
Yeah, it could be in there. I'm thinking more like his own like gutters, like that check raise and then
4-5 and stuff.
4-5 I didn't even see, but yeah,
king 10.
Yeah, his own 10 jack king 10 stuff. That say if he went for the raise and then didn't have a heart, kind of pusses out or whatever.
Yeah.
So we could probably check and then get those to fold by betting river, because what are we gonna do with all our ace X on the turn? Most likely like
checking with 0 to heart.
Yeah, we're probably just checking and betting like ace jack heart or better or something like that. So we have a credible value range once he checks again on river.
Yeah,
we can say even getting his own king 10 to fold, or getting his own getting his king jack to fold, or a 9x of clubs. Yeah, that's a good example. I think that would be more when his range is like more condensed.
Yeah,
I'm using the wider, less equity bluffs, a lot less often. Yeah.
Okay. So we end up calling.
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, I mean, that's nice because, like, now it removes his 10 of hearts. Like, ace 10 heart is not in there anymore. So, really.
I mean, you know, so then
Yeah,
if with the river ranger assess being like, see that's where like on the flop with that just like the tiny ass raise, I put like less than ace x in his like raise range randomly, but like
yeah, like I mean maybe if it's like a pocket 3s, 4s, or 5s,
yeah,
kind of
with
thing,
a heart,
but like a queen x, I would pretty much never.
Yeah.
But the low pocket pair, sure. But all of those, if he did check all them on turn, make a flush now, and he probably seems like a weaker player. Yeah, 35-16, given his fucking weird line. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have went for it in this spot. Yeah. We're trying to get, it's only flushes now, pretty much.
Yeah, well, so if there's this, not really though. Like if there's more ace x that have no heart raising
Oh yeah,
flop,
I guess ace,
right?
Ace jack no heart, maybe like
maybe he has like ace 5 of clubs, ace 4 of clubs, right? That just like check raise because they have like the backdoor nut equity with the clubs, right? So if he has like ace 3, ace 4, ace 5 club, ace 6, ace 7 club, at some amount, that's never folding turn.
But then this guy seems like the type who might also have those with the kicker heart as well.
Yeah,
like he might also have ace 3 through ace 8 with the heart.
Yeah. But then what bluffs do we have?
yeah, exactly. I mean,
so,
yeah.
We bet.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the turn is where once you got to this spot, I would definitely bluff.
Yeah, and but not like a small size where he just calls any heart, but then like a big enough size where he's like, okay, well, what the fuck?
We're pretty much repping the jack or the king of hearts, so it doesn't really make sense to go small.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So either way,
like basically, if we want to ever try to force a fold from these, whatever, if he has like ace 7 with the 7 of hearts, we don't want to go like too small. Because they're just gonna fucking be like flush and call.
Yeah.
Because especially, he seems a little weaker. So, I would go bigger for that reason.
Like full pot.
I don't know. Honestly, it's so dust in these spots because they still like call a 4 flush, even for like.
So you can almost risk the least amount to get them to fold any ace x or 2 pair or something. And then, because he will never call those.
I think this player type, probably your size, maybe like even half or something, is pretty good. Just whatever ace 8 no heart he has or something. Seems all right.
Okay. Yeah, the whole raising range on flop, I guess, is like the
it's super funky.
Like.
Yeah, good. But yeah, definitely against the guys like that, there's actually, I'm going to take back what I said. There's like no point to go big on river with a bluff. Like, you just go whatever small size to get whatever random no heart hand they have.
Yeah.
That's a good size.
I think it's just another without heart. This is a spot where we want to choose still wide range 1/3 C bet or
just bet, but bet everything and just bet everything for half instead of third.
I mean, I chose like larger than that.
That's fine too. Okay. That's fine too. Yeah, you could have these boards are just fucking so slam dunk. Something like pocket 9s, you want to bet pot. Something whatever like a set, you might actually bet a third or half to try to do some more check raises. Same with like something like ace or something. Something like 7-9 of diamonds, you bet pot, you force folds from so many hands, and you got great turn barrels. Like, it's just you can do
these like
little. Where does your hand like fit? And just because their range is just very, very handcuffed on a board where what the fuck? He doesn't have made hands really.
Yeah.
Deuces and threes, whatever. But we
Yeah.
just can really put pressure and be, especially on Bodog, like where they're gonna make like I'm making like some guesses, some assumptions about like when I see the flop size what someone's doing. But like outside of that, that's just gonna like we can go whatever makes sense in a vacuum
Because it's always
with
going to
our
be such a
hand.
limited guess.
Yeah, and like they're going off of like one random instance. It's
Yeah,
like, okay,
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I just wasn't sure. Like without heart, if I still wanted, like, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, half, but like it felt better to just go a little bit bigger than half.
Yeah, that's fine. It's a backdoor.
Okay, he just folded. Okay, this is a kind of interesting hand. So I open. So notable things. I mean, this guy's a fish. Whatever. Calling wide. This guy, 96 hands, had 0-3 bet, super net, and he donks for 1/3 pot. This guy folds, and I decided to raise. Like, when he did the donk, I hadn't taken in this fully yet, but then on the turn I really realized it. And I was like, okay, like he really does have like, let's say aces, fucking kings, or like ace king, king queen, pocket, like not whatever. He has all these hands, right? So because of those, would that keep you away from raising ever on the flop? Still,
for sure. I'm just like not against the nit. Like when a nit's putting money in the pot, I'm not bothering to semi bluff like maybe almost ever. Their range is just too tight, too strong.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we raised, and this turn came.
Pretty great turn.
Yeah. So we bet like. I mean, so
it's great, but it sucks. Still,
yeah.
Because he has king 9 suited, probably with the fish there, deuces 9s.
Ace king.
Yeah, I guess it's like hard to put in there, but I guess.
Yeah. So I don't know though. It felt like with the net equity, maybe with the having the club, and like if there is a pocket of like, let's say he just folds like a bunch of king X on this turn. Dude, that's something I don't think I kind of have any concrete, and it might just be any nit will be different, but like our nits nitty because or like they're gonna be different, but because they fold lots or because they just don't put money. You know what I mean? Like, so does a nit fold king 10 here just because he's like I just like
probably not. They're not necessarily like foldy in those spots.
Okay.
Yeah, necessarily. They're like not. Yeah, it doesn't mean a nit won't necessarily be
tight with their fold.
Yeah, you could have a nit calling station if that makes sense.
Okay.
There's definitely some players like that.
So they don't bluff.
They don't bluff, but they'll be like if they have a whatever little hand, they might put some money in.
Yeah. Okay.
But like straight bluffing, no.
So, but I don't know. Yeah, I basically thought this was a fine hand to put a bet in on the turn.
Yeah, just like if we could get, I guess by checking back the turn, it's hard to get king X to fold on the river. Whereas, yeah, I might just bet like pot, give up river. Because once he calls a big bet on turn, it's
range like ace queen.
Sets, like it's definitely like ace X plus, which is.
So that's kind of what I went. Like I went for this kind of close to pot.
See, I'm not even sure if this size gets like king 10, king jack, king to fold, which is like that's if it doesn't, and we're always giving up river, it's just like no good. Yeah. So I might actually go like 1.1 pot or something to just really be confident that I'm doing that. So just that looks super strong. Raise flop, ace turn, mash it for like slight overbet. Now when he calls that, his range is for sure like ace jack, ace queen plus whatever random shit he led with.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm gonna be like not confident at all, like betting this size and then falling through river. I'd rather go like pot plus a little and give up.
Yeah. Calls and then I decided to give up.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
I was at least just happy to find the give up.
Yeah. Notice the HUD stats at least at some point.
Yes, here I figure bet third,
Mm-hmm.
get some protection. Buddy raises. Fish, I thought. Call because diamond and because 4 is good. But maybe we just, like, still know.
Oh, I'm not
It's
sure.
so small.
Yeah, no, fuck it, it's super tiny. Yeah, I'd call this
Okay.
tiny. I didn't see how small it was. I think versus a normal size, we'd probably just fold our hand. If he goes like 3x or bigger.
Yeah.
Just especially because now this is the spot where he can have a couple more 10s in his range too, which is no good.
Mm-hmm.
And then now, like, we just have our clear, like, ace jack, ace queen, ace king with a diamond, or with backdoor spades or whatever, like, that are going to be a lot nicer calls.
Yeah.
But yeah, versus tiny ass size, I'd
probably. Okay. And then you checks. Decide to not start bluffing this hand, basically.
Yeah.
Then he checks on the river. And I'm like, I have to bluff something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Deuces, threes, fours, I think are the fucking
right. If he just I'm thinking if he has any amount of basically, let's say 7 8 8 9 7 9 random jack queen king highs with spades or with one diamond that just check gave up that'll like fold river just bet like a tiny bet or like I guess this isn't even like tiny but it's like like a slightly less than third.
Yeah, I mean, we're targeting king high and worse, and want to look like pocket 7s or 8s kind of thing.
That could still value, yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Buddy, tiny 3 bets, call, set, bet third, call. Now, this turn, I thought, I wasn't sure, like, okay, does a bunch of my pairs still just want to bet third for protection if his range is mostly like ace king high or like his own?
Good. Yeah. What 10s does he have?
Yeah. Well, like ace 10, I guess heart spade that check called instead.
But I like that plan with our range. I don't necessarily like it with our hand. Like, I love betting like pocket 3s here for a third.
Yeah.
Clear out all that shit.
Yeah.
That will actually protect now verse.
Yeah.
Especially when the turn is like a 6, a 9, a 10. That's great for us and shit for him. But do we want to fold those things when we have like the nut, like the hand locked down pretty much?
Fold out what?
Like his overcards?
No.
Yeah, nice. So I probably would trap this hand a decent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that, I mean, I think I kind of talked about those things. Well, I was like, kind of afterwards. I think though, like I was just kind of in a bit of a spot where I'm like, a bunch of our hands want to just bet a third. Some of our bluffs though would probably just be like, okay, like let's say any queen jack or turn diamonds. I guess those can just still get mixed into the small size, or would you ever put them in big?
I'll just go third.
Yeah, just because of what his range is.
Yeah, exactly. It's like on 7, 7, 8, like I don't think people are bothering to check like jacks, queens, kings, aces. Mm-hmm. So if they're not doing that, they don't really have anything. Okay,
well then I kind of botched this one and chose like a large.
I don't think like we're just getting this is probably like good with. Well, I mean, I think any bet we make here, we're getting like a fuckload of fold. Mm-hmm. Such a ridiculous amount. Yeah,
and that's kind of what I thought, but I was like, well, but then like the range of hands, like whatever he's gonna call is gonna call probably, kind of given the bluffiness of the board, maybe.
But say he has, so if he has one of those hands that's gonna call a bet, like that would be what are those hands mainly gonna be when we're removing like all the 8s?
Like let's say like gonna seem kind of fringy stuff like some ace tens, some ace kings,
sure.
some pocket like nines, a single 8-9. Yeah, because not check calling any other than ace 10, any other 10x.
Yeah, so it would be
Ace
like
ace,
yeah,
ace king.
it would be the tiny amount of the time, or the little bit of the time that he has ace ace or king king, and then like ace 10. But then on a lot of rivers, what's he gonna do? We don't really miss the value on the turn from those hands because we check, and the river's like any deuce through 5, an 8, a 10, a lot of cards like that. What's he gonna do with like aces and kings, or like his 10x if the river's like an undercard?
He's gonna bet.
He's gonna bet. He's gonna slam dunk bet them, and now we have a jamming ring, which is like nice to have. So yeah, I don't think we let his overcard still bank equity. He's still gonna value bet his like top value that checked flop for whatever reasons, and then we can jam over. So
you check.
Yeah, I would check turn. If the river on these non-connected river or turns, I would for sure just bet though, like a deuce or a whatever, deuce at 3, like a queen. But yeah, the 9, the 10, the jack, the 6 are all like turn cards that out of position is going to be check folding so much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I right away was already like thinking, okay, I'll bet like 9-9 here if I have a heart, but then not bet it if I don't have a heart. Like, it seems like, I mean, we do get a decent amount of protection from queen high, king high, and some ace high cards, some 10 high cards, which would be my reasons for betting.
Right.
But I also feel like I have a lot of other. It didn't feel like a texture where I would choose a 1/3 with a lot of hands. So I thought it would be one where I kind of start to choose bigger or at sizes that we're checking. And so I thought this hand didn't make it into wanted to bet any bigger, although maybe, right, like if we are betting like half pot, we're getting folds from like, let's say some sort of queen X, king X suited, but I guess a lot of them are just gonna have like gutters and shit, right? So there's not that much like king 5 of fucking spades, queen 5 of spades or some shit like that, right? So a lot of his range is gonna, and my hand doesn't not seem like a great one to start putting in money, really. Yeah. But there is some like, ace X spades, ace X clubs, a few, king, queen offsuits, no heart, right? Like there's like some percent, which might be something like 20% of his range or something that like just kind of probably folds right away to a third.
What also happens on this board, maybe like somewhere between 10 to 20% of the time. When he checks and we bet.
Getting check raised.
Yeah. So that's gonna probably like teeter-totter against that bit of protection that we get.
I feel like this might be, look, it's Das.
Oh, it's backwards?
Yeah.
Wait, so what actually happened?
So wait, he must be button. Because button opens, right?
Oh, you 3-bet and he calls?
Yeah.
Oh, it's backwards.
Yeah. So
you're out of position as the 3-better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I think I'd probably still just check.
Okay.
This board, especially the depth, like the 200 BB deep.
Yeah.
On a board that like a small bet is gonna fold out like. close to nothing.
Yeah. Okay.
Having a hand like nines is nice to have a hand with showdown value that can check call again on a lot of turns. Turns to 5, turns to 7, turns to 10.
Yeah.
We're check calling again. He's gonna barrel a lot of hands on what if we do big the 9.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice to not only always have like ace queen or ace king that check this board.
Yeah.
You know. So some
Sometimes like 9s, 10s,
Jack
some
9, Jack
8x.
10. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's just especially deeper, like starting to put money in the spots does not seem like a very good idea.
Exactly.
Very high, and I was pretty thrilled about just getting this size and being able to check call.
Yeah.
And then this turn came, and he bets, and I said off this.
Yeah.
Like I'll just have, I guess, what 9s, 10s of the heart, which even like you call those ones still, or
Yeah.
You would never fold,
No.
even though because so in my mind, if it's like. Yeah, when I'm in that scenario, it's like assessing his value range. Let's say it's sets plus or 2-pair plus, so 6-8.
What hands other than 2-pair that are value?
Ace jack,
Yeah.
maybe king jack with like king jack with like the heart.
Yeah.
Ace jack maybe.
Yeah.
Even without heart.
Yeah. So there's a couple of hands that are.
Okay, so some king jack and better.
Yeah.
Pretty happily
maybe
betting here.
Sorry, maybe even like queen jack with the queen of hearts or something.
Okay,
but
yeah,
stuff like that. It could definitely still be in there.
So, and then his main, and then a lot of his bluffs being, let's say, ace 10 off, ace queen off, king queen off, one heart, and then some 9 10, 10 9, or 9 10 queen 10 queen 9. Obviously blocking some of those not very nice.
Yeah.
Some of those main ones.
Yeah.
Basically that we're hoping he would have like less equity, no heart. So obviously this particular hand seems like a pretty clear hold against what that whole betting range is going to be.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Think this deep, heads up, you want to mix some checking some flush draws on the flop for sure. Just like so that we never don't just have like a pair plus heart or like ace heart queen type hand, and we
so some that have like a
flushes.
showdown value, right? Like even, some 8x hearts and then some like even not flush draws.
Oh yeah, like ace king, ace queen, ace 10 of hearts are like very nice checks this deep. To mix in there. The ones,
and then you would just check call turn to check jam like river.
Yeah, I would have a 0. Check raise nothing on the turn spot.
Okay.
Yeah, because like that's going to be a small part of our range, and we want it to be in the check call range.
With the other stuff.
We don't want to build another like region.
Okay.
It's just gonna fuck shit.
Whatever. Call this bet, half pot. Check, and I just block bet, which like I don't know, maybe. Yeah, like I'm thinking, okay, if there's this group of hands, let's say ace X, or basically any like pair plus, or just any hand with like a deuce heart through 7 heart that maybe doesn't fold to half pot. We just like kind of get like the most bit of value there, and then makes it even easier when he ever does raise. Seemed reasonable, but it also seemed like we never really have bluffs, and the bigger we go, if he ever actually folds those, kind of whatever. So it felt like this is what like a 1/3.
Yeah, the 9, the middling hearts are in a weird spot on this board for sure. What's most of our range going to be when we call flop, turn check? Get to the river.
Most of our range.
Or what's maybe not most, but like other than flushes, what's like
ace X and then like some pair plus gutter.
Yeah, like ace X, king X, Jack 10,
obviously.
And then our like all of those hands have I guess like half of them have no heart.
Yeah.
Which though all that class is never gonna want to bet, right? Like we have like ace 3 of whatever here. Are you gonna bet the river ever?
No.
So basically what I'm saying is like we want to have some hands that protect that range. Otherwise, like he has a pretty easy bluff with like just any hand that he bet on flop. When a
So
lot
will
of
you
our
check
ranges,
these
like,
ones?
no, I'm saying like I would like I think if I bet, it's gonna be actually not necessarily small because maybe betting like 9 of heart is like the cutoff. Maybe like 9 of heart, 10 of heart, queen of heart, obviously. But we need to look like we're turning like Jack X into a bluff. Other than that, like we're not really going to be betting river with many hands. So I think having some bets with like the 9 of hearts, the 10 of hearts, maybe going for a check raise with the queen of hearts
For
probably a bit bigger.
Okay.
Because we otherwise like I think this size is going to be perceived as like because would we ever block bet like an ace here or like so it's pretty extremely rarely to be perceived as a bluff. So I think all his bluff catchers actually fold. Like if he has like ace 7 no heart here or something that he bet on flop, I think actually people are more likely to call it to a bigger size than a block. A block just looks like any type, like any 4 flush or any one card flush we have, because it doesn't make sense to value bet any other hands that way.
Yeah.
But if we're turning all of our Jack X into a bluff, I think we can go for some size up.
Okay.
Jack 10, Jack Queen, no heart, and then all the suited jacks. Obviously, no hearts.
Okay.
I think. Like I don't know. I'm trying to put myself in this. It would be a super creative bluff if you bet like Jack 10 without a heart that way.
I probably would.
That would be, that's
like I probably would do that.
That's good. Thinking that like they will find a fold with like an ace,
and then but then won't fold to larger size with those other hands.
With if they have a heart, anyways, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, which then would when I do have this,
just going bigger.
Going bigger because then the only scenario is that they call it the heart.
Yeah.
And then we get like tiny raised. And I thought like never bluffing.
Yeah.
So it was folded.
Exactly. Yeah, good. I think Rivers pretty interesting for what we should do with sizing with bluffs and if we should go for check raise sometimes ever, which I think is pretty neat.
Yeah, like you allow him to bluff
Whatever.
A fuckload of hands. He probably bets a heart pretty fucking often, so you don't really miss anything by not.
Yeah. I think it's pretty clear with the Queen of Hearts to go for the check raise. Because obviously going for a big bet, we're just removing the not that.
And that's where my head was at with this. I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure, or it feels like I could kind of like whatever smaller size and like just like be fine folding to a raise. But I guess like the thing is that if he's just still calling any lower heart for up to let's say like $30 or something, right? Then I'm just going bigger.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we have. I mean, this one was whatever. I just fish, whatever. I was gonna check raise, but I was like, man, my hand needs no protection. It seems like a lot of cards kind of actually suck, and like if he's just wide, allowing him to start teeing off with whatever, seemed also good.
This is where like what do you go 15 to
32?
32, yeah. If you went a third, I'd probably still check raise, but
I think it's like okay. Once he went bigger, like okay, now I kind of like calling one. But originally, the plan was to check raise.
This guy's the fish, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still, there's just, like, so much straight value. But, yeah, they go a little, it is nice when they have the 10 jacks, king jacks, queen 10s that have they'll really start mashing it.
Mhm.
So it's pretty close. Yeah.
And and we can, if he has a hand on certain turns, we can get the value in there. So it seems like
he's gonna bet if he thinks
it's not going to be a 2-street hand no matter what. Like unless we massive raise and perfect brick turn and jam, then he calls us with
whatever. Yeah, no, I think. Cool.
And then kind of does turn, check call one more. We got the value on the flop, and maybe
we would have bloated the pot to lose it anyway.
Yes. Okay, this we'll leave. This is the last one, maybe. So half pots, call. Not really looking to raise this hand. It's maybe like some 4 or 5 of diamonds or some shit. Would you ever raise? Like I don't know, or just leaving it to spades and 10-8 of diamonds and 7-8s.
Yeah, there's already enough.
3 of diamonds or some shit like that.
Once there's already the 7-8s and 7-5s and spades, it's okay.
Not doing too many pair plus.
Yeah, I don't think go too much.
Okay.
I mean, we want to raise some ace 9 and stuff like that for just value for sure. But as far as adding extra bluffs,
yeah, with kind of shit
range deals with it.
So, brick. And then this river came. So, yeah, I pretty much time banked the whole way down and was not sure. So, I think I can have, because it might look like I don't have that many bluffs, but if I'm floating all 10 Jack, Queen, King hands, I have a massive pocket of hands there, actually, right? Especially ones with 1 spade.
Yeah.
That are all air on river, right? Yeah. And so...
I would always bluff this river too.
Yeah, so I wasn't sure though. Okay, so it's but I have a fuckload of just pairs that are pretty fine, which is kind of block betting or checking. So I basically said, I was just I don't think he ever I'm not gonna. I felt like checking this hand was a big no-no, considering how he just checks back so much here, right? What hands does he bet that he rivered ace 8 or fucking king 8 or a weak 9x or some shit,
Yeah.
So his betting frequency is
well, what other that's good too. What other hands are in there that he could have pot flop, check the turn, and then still call on the river? What hand? Hands other than pairs,
or so you got some
that are pairs that are hands he could call river with.
Let's say he has some ace 4, ace 6, ace deuce.
Yeah.
That are pairs, and then the river 8x.
Pocket 7s, maybe. Some ace 6, king 6, and then the ace x kicker sort of. Yeah, ace 4, ace 6, ace, like you said.
Yeah.
So those, and then if he is noticing the overcards with a spade, and he has those hands, is going to be pretty happy to bluff him.
Yeah. So I ended up, I was so much of my kind of pair region just wants to bet third, any 6x, 8x, or even, But then I guess it's 9x plus. Seems, and even maybe I know if I have a hand like ace 8 or something, king 8 with the king of spades or something, is going to be pretty
clear bet when he checks.
Yeah, but I just think about size, right? So when I have the air that wants to get him to fold those pairs reliably, I'm probably going to choose let's even just say full pot, right? Or a 2/3 pot or 3/4 pot or something like that. So when I have the stronger hands and I don't expect them to raise, I want to have those in there with that one and not have it in a small size.
Yeah, no.
So, but I ended up just kind of not coming to that conclusion and just betting small. But he's just not going to be raising here and stuff. So just putting this into 50 or 60 or something like that.
Yeah.
Even bigger than that.
I think 2x is pretty good.
So you just. You kind of say I don't have any of these other hands. I have air or a two pair better.
Yeah, because I think we'll do I don't think there's too much bluffing for because like most of his like all of his equity bluffs mainly and value on the deuce are gonna bet.
Yeah.
So like I don't think we benefit that much from like block betting if we have like 4-5 or something.
Mhm.
It just like folds his like air
Yeah.
that might bluff river v check.
Yeah.
Probably not in this spot.
Yeah.
But we don't get value from any of those like if we have 4-5, it's way different than if we have like even ace-8 or the king-8 or some shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's just gonna be I don't think too much small betting going on for us on river.
You're just really hoping to, when you have some of those weaker ones, if you did do that, hoping like ace king and ace queen, some deuce x or some shit calls.
Yeah,
ace deuce diamond, ace deuce spade, whatever.
Yeah, which is tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that
was just so like kind of like all right, like but I think the key is the overcard air part of our range.
Yeah.
That's the absolute key to this.
And
hand.
just like being pretty like there's some spots where like I don't really care about like I'll bluff my bluffs this size and bluff my value this size. Like I might just like 2x pot the bluffs and the value here.
Yeah.
And then it's just a good strategy with everything. I don't need to like teeter-totter it one way or the other. You know? Which like that might be a spot like that. But being confident that he's gonna notice all of those overcard bluffs that are there.
Which at first I'm like, I don't really have that many like bluffs here, but then by the end I'm like, oh wait, like no, I have all these bluffs.
Yeah.
Now whether I think he'll like kind of know them or not, I don't.
Plus, do you think someone like the button in this spot is gonna
find raises or at all?
No, not that. Do you think he's gonna assume a high bluffing frequency with that pocket of hands on this river, or a low bluffing frequency?
High because
it completes.
Yeah.
It's great for our range, right?
Yeah.
So if he's thinking of, which I think 2-5 and up, the guys are like thinking about that stuff probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, it gets even nicer once we can get, and we know what type of things they're thinking.
Yeah.
Because we're
yeah.
Like if it's a nit here and he's not thinking about any of that shit, and he's just like, I'm never gonna call like ace 6 or some shit.
Yeah.
Then our betting big with the value gets actually pretty bad.
Yeah.
So yeah. Most of these guys, I think, at this point, 2-5 or
cool.
would be aware. Yeah, good hands.